Denise. Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. Denise. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Keith Lee makes his AEW debut. Jay White walks through that forbidden door, and we get a banger of a main event for the AEW World Championship in a Texas death match. Hangman Adam Page versus Lance Archer. There is so much to talk about here today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Denise Salcedo. You're watching Speak Now Pro Wrestling, and we have an incredible edition of AEW Dynamite to get into here today. It is the February 9th edition, emanating out of Atlantic City. So much to talk about, everybody. I don't even know where to begin. Normally, we are going to go through the show in chronological order. That is legitimately just the best way to go about it. But I just got to say, I'm feeling pretty positive that this was the best episode of AEW Dynamite this year. Now, granted, we are barely in the month of February, but regardless, it was a very good episode, especially the first hour. Like, everything was good, right? But the first hour just had so much. Then we get into the second hour, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, come on, let's get into this Texas death match. The Texas death match gets started, and it does not disappoint. It was probably one of my favorite matches in a hot minute, but there is so much to get into, everybody. Before we do, I just want to go ahead and welcome each and every single person that is on this stream right now. I thank you so much for being here. On top of that, this is a very interactive show, so at any point, if you guys want to send in any comments, any questions, or any statements, and if you want to get them read on the air, on this podcast, 100% guaranteed, you can go ahead and send in a super chat. If you do send in a super chat, your comment gets read on here, and on top of that, F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of all the proceeds from all super chats, so get your super chats in, get them rolling, and I will go ahead and pop them up on the screen and get those going. But wow, we have so much to talk about, everybody. And I'm just seeing the chat blowing up right now, and I'm seeing all the things we have to talk about, and I'm internally freaking out. But honestly, guys, it's shows like this that make things very exciting. Like, this show had a lot of hype and a lot of buzz heading into it, really because of, Tony Khan basically saying like, hey, we're going to be seeing we're going to be seeing a surprise coming into the company. And from the looks of those tweets, you guys were here on this show when I was reading those tweets as they broke. And one of my first questions was, is this one person that's coming into AEW? Is this two people that are coming into AEW? What's going on here? So, from that point until now, there's been a lot of buzz and a lot of hype surrounding the show. But let's go ahead and kick things off with MJF's celebration, which featured a very, I don't know what to say, definitely not make-out session. But let's get into it, everybody. We kick things off with MJF's celebration. As you all know, he officially defeated CM Punk, gave him his first loss in AEW. And so poor Wardlow, he comes out, no music, has like the saddest like puppy dog look face on, and he's basically treated like a poor intern. He's coming out again, no music, comes out with the cutouts, sets them up on the ring. The rest of the Pinnacle members come out, and they all get a grand entrance. And then the grandest entrance of them all, MJF comes out in a throne. He's waving like he's Queen Elizabeth, and he's being walked out by two women that are walking in front of him, and they look really cute. They get to the ring. MJF gets off his throne. He turns to one girl. He gives her a kiss. He turns to the other girl and just lays it on her, gives her a big old wet one, and that kiss kind of went on for a while. It gave me enough time to not only react, but to screenshot and still stare at the kiss. Like, it was a long, very deep Why am I spending so much time on this kiss? Regardless, so we have MJF basically coming in with a very grand entrance, and he basically, this entire time, we're seeing Wardlow just look like so upset, like he's not having it. We've been seeing this throughout the last couple of weeks. He's just not having it with MJF, and the entire time he's making like this ugh face. And so MJF goes on about how he's the best in the world, introduces a new t-shirt, gives all the credit to Shawn Spears instead of Wardlow. So Wardlow is definitely disappointed by that. He's talking all the smack on CM Punk. CM Punk finally comes out, and he basically says, like, I'm not coming out alone this time. I'm coming here with friends. He comes out with Sting. He comes out with Darby. They all have got their bats. They look like a boy band. And he basically says, hey, I want a rematch, and I want a rematch now to MJF. And MJF's like, hell no, like, you're not getting this rematch. And so they kind of go back and forth for just a bit. And then finally MJF says, all right, fine. If you and a partner that cannot be Sting or Darby defeats FTR today, then you will get a rematch with myself. And so at this point, we're wondering, like, who's CM Punk's partner going to be? We all know that we're going to get a mystery person coming in at the face of the Revolution, but what if another mystery person comes in as CM Punk's partner? So for a second, I thought they were going to go that direction. They didn't end up going that direction, and we'll talk about that more later on. But this was a lot of fun, everybody. I liked knowing that we kind of had a tease for a second where we really didn't know when to expect the possibility of a second surprise coming out to the show. So this was great. We're going to be seeing, again, we'll talk about CM Punk and the match that he had later on in just a hot second. But this was a good start to the show. Really fun. MJF just really going off and being super, super larger than life was very entertaining. I don't know who the girl is. I'm sure a lot of people do, but I do not. But let's go ahead and get your thoughts, everybody. How did you guys feel about this opening segment? Here we go. We got a super chat from Ray Zhang. Thank you so much to Ray Zhang, who sends in the first super chat of the day, saying $1 for every second the kiss was held. Damn it, MJF. You should have gone like a whole hour making out with this girl. I would have gotten more money. Just kidding. Thank you so much to Roy, for sending in this super chat. I really appreciate your support, man. But we got a lot of people coming in here and getting some comments. We got a comment from Andrew Cook, who says, as tired as I am waiting for someone to really beat the crap out of MJF, Punk talking straight to Wardlow is a nice step towards Wardlow's breakaway. So that was one of the things that we also saw during this, is that CM Punk basically told Wardlow, like, hey, grow some balls, and when are you going to leave these guys? I love that. I'm glad that someone finally said something, because we've been seeing this whole like turmoil between MJF and Wardlow now for a while. We've been seeing them plant the seeds for quite a bit now, but nobody has really said it out loud, like, hey, Wardlow, when the hell are you going to do something, bruh? I mean, besides us, right? Like, nobody on screen has actually said something. So this was like kind of the first indication of, we are almost there. We're just like Veer. We're coming. We're almost there. We're bound to see Wardlow snap pretty soon. Alrighty, guys. So there you go. That was the official opening segment of the show. But let's go ahead and keep things going. Friendly reminder, everybody, if you do want to get your question, your statement, or your comment right on this show, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat, and I will make sure to read it. But let's get into this. Afterwards, we got a quick backstage segment, Andrade, Sting, and Darby, and this has been one of my favorite aspects of the show the last couple of weeks. It has been so entertaining to see Andrade call Darby Allin the Kid, call Sting Stink, and all of those good stuff. But this time, Andrade tells Sting, like, it's nice to finally, he tells Darby, it's nice to finally meet your boss. Nice to meet you, sir. He's very polite with Sting. And Sting finally says, like, Darby, did you not tell this guy already? Like, he's not a kid. And like, he didn't reference the dad thing, because that's been one of the things that they have been, that Andrade has been saying, that Sting is his dad. He didn't mention it this time, but I did think it was funny. Andrade then tells Darby, like, you're going to work with me. And Darby's like, I'm not going to work with you. Like, this is not going to happen because I'm going after the TNT championship. And Andrade is basically like, you are going to work for me because I am going to be TNT champion. So it seems like something's going on there. I still don't know what. We already knew that Darby was going after the TNT championship based off how things ended after that Sammy Guevara match. I think it was last week. And so we already knew that that was going to go down, but I think that I'm still curious as to where is this going to lead with Andrade. At some point, he's got to get frustrated that Darby is not willing to go and work with him. But regardless, I love these skits. I love them. They are hilarious as hell. All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue on from here. So after this, we got Wardlow. Like, man, Wardlow is not having a good day whatsoever. At this point of the show, he's frustrated. You know, people are calling him out to see if he has any balls. MJF is really testing his limits. Shawn Spears is getting all the love from MJF. Wardlow is not having it. And then he's got to go into this match with the Blade. All right, so I'm thinking to myself, you know, Wardlow has a lot of anger that he really needs to let out at this point. And I was expecting this like very quick squash match. I was expecting just to see Wardlow come out and do what he's been doing the last couple of weeks, which is doing all the power bombs, getting a quick win. They gave the Blade a little bit more during this, so this wasn't your very quick squash. They gave him just a little bit here. The Blade went right towards Wardlow, kicking him nonstop. He kind of brings down Wardlow, takes him off of his game for just a second. We end up going to a commercial break. We come back from commercial break. Wardlow hits, I believe it was 4 power bombs, and then eventually gets the win. Shawn Spears comes out and he hits he comes out with the chair and hits the Blade with it. So I personally think that I would have enjoyed this a little bit more had it just been like a quick squash. Just get right into it, do the power bombs, get the win. I didn't think we needed everything else before this. It obviously didn't take up too much time from the show, but I think they should have just gotten right into it. But regardless, that's what we had with Wardlow and the Blade. We got a comment from Juice Scott who says it's going to be glorious when Wardlow goes apeshit and beats the hell out of Spears, and when he beats the hell out of MJF. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that. Alrighty, guys, let's continue on here. Let's get into the inner circle meeting. This was deep, everybody. Like this, there was a lot that was said during this promo that had me like really, really interested. Like even more so, I think a little bit more. So I don't know how many of you guys checked out that interview that Luke Owen and Ollie Davis and myself did on Wrestle Talk with Eddie Kingston. And Eddie Kingston kind of really buried Chris Jericho. Not like buried him, but like he really said how he legitimately felt about him. And one of the things that he brought up during that interview was like, you know, Chris Jericho only cares about himself. And, you know, he's keeping people like Santana and Ortiz from, you know, really making a name for themselves and being, being somebody on the roster, etc. So given that and just a lot of what he spoke about kind of, I think, had me watching this whole like face off between Santana and Ortiz and Chris Jericho a whole lot differently. It was just very exciting to kind of see this because I have been waiting for Santana and Ortiz to break away from the inner circle. I'm done. I was like Meryl Streep. You guys know the freaking meme where Meryl Streep's like yelling? I wanted to post that and be like, break up already. Break up. So that's how I felt watching this. Now, let's get into what actually went down here because I thought that this was a pretty deep promo in the sense that we got Jericho basically starts off by saying that Santana and Ortiz, that, he hasn't seen them all day. He doesn't know where they're at. But quickly, Santana and Ortiz come out and they confront Jericho. Jericho says like, oh, it's so cute that you guys want your own spotlight. But you know what? It was embarrassing that you guys didn't tag me in last week. And then this is where things kind of go to the next level. Santana and Ortiz do probably their best mic work that they have done in AEW in quite some time. And they really kind of let Chris Jericho have it here. They basically says, they've had enough of his shit. They're done. Chris Jericho only cares about himself. He says that Santana says that each and every single time that they were headed for the AEW tag team titles, that they always had to stop what they were doing to go and essentially rescue Chris Jericho from whatever it is that was going on with him. They're done playing second fiddle to Chris Jericho and says that he essentially stood in their way. And I will tell you, I have never been more excited for a breakup in my entire life. I was here for this. Santana even tells Jericho, you should thank Ortiz, because if it wasn't for him, I would have dropped your ass a long time ago. So that was really good. Jericho then takes the mic and he basically says, like, what has Eddie Kingston done for you? I'm the influencer, this and that. You guys had a chance at winning, but you lost to the Bucks over a year ago, etc. And then he throws a low blow. He throws a shot at Santana and Ortiz, and he basically says that he hired the wrong members of LAX, and then turns to Hager and says, like, hey, do you have the numbers of Homicide and Hernandez? And so obviously this pisses off Santana and Ortiz. They kind of go at it, but Sammy Guevara breaks them up and basically says that he is done. He snaps. He says, I've left the inner circle before. I will leave the inner circle once again because you guys need to figure out this stuff. So Sammy was sort of playing the peacekeeper here. Walks away. So it's just Santana and Ortiz, Jericho and Hager. And so Ortiz basically tells Chris tells Jericho, like, we don't settle things, through words. We settle things through action. And so we are going to get a match between these two teams. What I thought was hilarious about this, though, was that Jake Hager said nothing during this entire segment. Nothing. He was literally just standing there. So I thought that was kind of funny, but I'm really looking forward to seeing this kind of like, I like that because the inner circle did go through so much that we are going to get like this story leading into the breakup, which is what we saw here today. But I just think like this breakup is so long overdue that I am just happy that it's finally happening. And I want to see this, I want to see the breakup feel like a big deal. And based on what we saw tonight, it does feel like a big deal. But I also, I'm excited for Santana and Ortiz to go off and do their own thing. Very excited about this. So I'm very happy with the way that things turned out today. Once again, guys, if you want to get your super chats sent in, if you want to get your question, your comment, your statement, your reaction, your criticism, whatever it is, you can go ahead and send in a super chat and I will be reading those on this stream. We actually got one from Amir F. Thank you so much to Amir, who says, feels like the face of the Revolution ladder match so far will be Keith Lee, Darby Allin, Andrade El Idolo, Scorpio Sky, and Wardlow. I do not know. I mean, definitely we're going to be seeing Keith Lee. We do know that, which we'll talk about in just a second. It makes sense to have Darby. Also makes sense to have Andrade. In terms of Scorpio Sky, probably. And then Wardlow. Oh, yeah, Wardlow. So I think you have some pretty safe bets there in terms of who you think is going to be in the face of the Revolution ladder match. But thank you so much to Amir F. for also sending in this super chat. Alrighty, so from here, let's go ahead and jump into one of the big moments of the night, everybody. So here we go. This is it. So once again, at this point before the show, we kind of already figured like, okay, we're probably going to be seeing more than one name here on AEW. And I freaking knew it too. Like, I knew it. The second that I read those tweets from Tony Khan, I was like, this kind of feels to me like it's more than one person. And I was reading the tweets and I'm like, I think the two people are going to be appearing on AEW. But then he sent up a follow-up tweet and he was like, oh no, it's going to be the same person, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, cool. I guess it's the same person. But people find out things and things are reported and da 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 da. So at this point, we all knew, like, or rather expected, some of us, that hey, we are going to be getting more than one surprise here today. And I think Tony Khan was doing some interviews where he was not only really just hyping up the show, but also hyping up more than one surprise. So at this point, we kind of expected a little bit more than one surprise. So backstage, we essentially see Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. They attack Rocky and Trent as they're doing an interview by the production area. And I'm watching and I'm thinking nothing really. Like, I'm just paying attention. And then out of nowhere, we get the Switchblade Jay White, and he comes in and he is the one that essentially walks through that forbidden door. He goes in and he ends up throwing Trent right into the truck. He turns to the Bucks and he says, "Nice earrings." So here we go, guys. Send me your thoughts. Jay White now doing stuff with AEW from the looks of, well, definitely from the looks of it, there's so much to unpack here, but here we go. We got a super chat from Juan Rodarte. Thank you so much to Juan. Thank you very much. Juan says, "The main event was a banger from start to finish. I hated the Jay White reveal. It could have been so much better. Denise, I can't believe Keith Lee is in AEW. Love the podcast." Thank you so much, Juan. So here we go. Earlier, I said that when they tease that, CM Punk is going to be having a partner, I thought that whoever the second person was going to be was probably going to come out with CM Punk. So they successfully fooled me there in thinking that that was actually going to happen. So for me, I did not expect Jay White whatsoever during this segment, which in hindsight, looking at it, you're like, well, Rocky Romero and all of this, why wouldn't he be in this segment? I liked it, especially because of the shot, because you come in, he walks in, and right away you see the jacket, and everybody knows, and everybody has this quick reaction of oh shit, this is true. Here he is. And personally, let's talk about this. Let's really break this down, because there is so much to go into as to why this is such a cool thing. So first of all, where do I even begin? All right. So this is very good for multiple reasons. One, Jay White is a big deal. Okay. Jay White is the freaking man. I have been a fan of Jay White since I actually started becoming a fan of his when he was in Ring of Honor. God, that was back in 2016, 2017, around there. That's when I essentially got familiar with Jay White. And then from there, I just became a big fan of his, right? And I knew that a lot of people weren't really behind him. There was a lot of people who really weren't fans of Jay White, but he kind of just continued to prove people wrong and prove people wrong. And then he sort of had this reinvention of himself where he kind of went from a good looking lad, right, to this all of a sudden this more I don't know what to say, this more, I don't know how to describe it, more manlier look. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but he's got the beard, he's got the jacket, he's looking like a legit badass. That's what you see with Jay White. And then he just starts accumulating all of these accomplishments, 5th New Japan Triple Crown champion, 1st New Japan Grand Slam champion, IWGP Heavyweight champion. There's so much stuff you could go ahead and name right now. But so he really makes a name for himself as a legitimately big star. And here's the thing too, is that Jay White is only 29 years old. He's my age. Actually, I think I'm older than Jay White by a couple of months. So let's put that into perspective for a hot second there. So Jay White has managed to make this name for himself, and he's only 29 years old. So for me, this is such a big deal because it's cool. Not only that, so he is probably, because of COVID and the pandemic and all of that stuff, he is going to be, from the looks of it, available to be here, in the United States, doing all of this stuff. So it's good that they're actually utilizing him. We've seen him, he's been doing the New Japan Strong shows, obviously. And then he's been making appearances on Impact Wrestling. So it's why not? Why shouldn't AEW, use him to essentially, add more to their stories and add more depth to their stories and all of that good stuff. So given that you don't really know when he's officially going back to Japan because of COVID and the pandemic and all of that stuff, he's going to be here for a bit. So I think it's good that they essentially utilize his time here. Now, on top of that, I do want to add that I do think that AEW really needs to book him in a very special way. Like, he should be treated at the top level because that is the kind of star that Jay White is. So I am excited to see what they're going to do. And based on his association with Adam Cole and all of this, I'm very excited where all of this is going to lead to. I'm like already kind of, really thinking of all of the different things that they can do here. So I really hope that they book him like a star. And I hope that we get to see some dream matches and whatnot. So I'm excited to see what goes on here. But what did you guys think of Jay White? Go ahead and send in your thoughts, and I'm going to get some comments going here. So here we go. This is a super chat from Anthony Esquivel. Thank you so much to Anthony, who says, love the energy tonight, Salcedo, hashtag Keith effing Lee. Thank you so much, man. Usually the better the show and the more things that happen, it makes me so much more hyped to come on here and chat with everybody and be like, yeah, this happened. Woo. So thank you so much to Anthony for getting this super chat in. Once again, guys, if you want to get your question, comment, or statement on the show, send in a super chat. On top of that, F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of all the proceeds, so it helps me out. Roberto Arsenal sends in a super chat saying, as a fan of New Japan, I am so hyped for Jay White. He has the it factor. Just hope he has a good run here in the States. Great show, 9 out of 10 for me. It was a really good show. And here's the thing too, I was looking forward to this show. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I was looking forward to it, but I try not to get my hopes up, honestly. I feel like going into the show with I don't want to go into a show with such outrageous expectations because I feel like it does lead sometimes to people feeling disappointed or whatnot. So I feel like when you just go into the show and you're like, all right, whatever happens, happens. Everything's, just a cherry on top of the sundae that you already have. So for me, I think that I went into the show with above normal expectations, but also I feel like it really over delivered what I was expecting. So for me, I felt like this show was a million times better than what I was legitimately expecting, because they could have literally just done a half-ass show and then put oh, here's a surprise, woohoo, here's another surprise, woohoo, and here's the main event, woohoo, and that's it. But everything else could have been crap. But we actually got a lot of other good stuff on this show. So good, man. I like that. Thank you so much to Roberto for sending in this super chat. We got a couple more here. Thank you so much to Taylor Cannon, a huge supporter of the show. Taylor Cannon says, hey, Denise, I enjoy your podcast. As for the show, I enjoyed it. I do feel like they should have spaced out the debuts more. Besides that, really enjoyed the show tonight. Yeah, it was 1 second, Jay White, boom. Next second, Keith Lee, boom. It was a lot of that, but in a way, it caught you off guard because, again, you're like, I don't know what's going to happen anymore. Thank you so much to Taylor for always sending in so much love on this show. And we got another super chat from another good friend of the show, Christopher Marino, who says, I'm loving how with Omega out, Adam Cole is setting up all these pieces for a full takeover, as he should be, dude. Adam Cole's a freaking star too. Utilize that, especially right now that he still has so much buzz after being in WWE, coming into AEW and all of that. So utilize that. That's still there. The buzz is still very much there for Adam Cole. So you want to protect that and you want to use it to your advantage. So for me, I'm here for this full takeover. Not pun. Moving on. Thank you so much to Christopher Marino for sending in that super chat. We got another one from William Santoro Jr. Thank you so much to William, who says, what a great program tonight. I would have paid money to see this. It had amazing segments, great debuts, and the tag match and championship was pay-per-view worthy. There were a couple of people on Twitter that wrote to me that they felt this show was pay-per-view worthy. And given that we had a lot of really good, it felt like more of their special theme shows, your winter is coming, those types of shows, maybe not so much a pay-per-view, because obviously a pay-per-view is just so much longer and you get so much more, but it did feel very important. Again, all the hype going into the show. Thank you so much to William. We also got another super chat from Christopher Mack. Thank you so much to Christopher for also sending in a super chat. Didn't leave a comment, but I still appreciate it. Actually, Christopher sent in another super chat saying, wonder how Red Dragon plays into the Bullet Club story. There's a lot of different things that they can do here. A lot of possibilities that I'm looking forward to. Thank you so much to Christopher Mack for that super chat. Alrighty, guys, and let's go ahead and continue on here. Once again, guys, if you do want to get your thoughts read on the show, you can send in a super chat and I'll pull those in. But either way, Jay White is here. Yeah. All right. I'm way too hyped. And we got a super chat from Mike Parker. Thank you so much to Mike, who says, nothing against Jay White, but don't feel he was at the level that was being hyped. Also feel the term Forbidden Door should be retired for a while. So here's the thing, like, I feel it depends on, like, for me, I think it depends on like what kind of fan you are and what you're normally watching, and like whether or not you decide for Jay White as a big star. Like if you're watching New Japan and you're seeing all of his accomplishments and everything that he's done and how he's really, like I said, sort of reinvented himself and really made a name for himself, again, especially at such a young age, I feel that Jay White is the star that he was hyped up to be. I think he's for me, like when I started hearing rumblings of like people predicting that, hey, it might be Jay White, I was like, yeah, if you're going to have somebody from the, Forbidden Door walk through as a big star, I do think that Jay White qualifies as that. But I do think this also depends. Like some people may not see him that way because maybe they're not watching like what he's doing or have been following what he has done. So I do think it also depends on the perspective of which you're coming from for this. Thank you so much to Mike Parker for also sending in this super chat. We got another one from Hagen who says it was better than Battle of the Belts. Dude, Battle of the Belts, man. That was, the Saturday special show that they did in January. That could have been a million times better. I mean, I remember doing the recap show for that, and I didn't have much to say. So definitely better than Battle of the Bouts. Thank you so much to Hagen for reminding me about that. That was a really good example there. All right, guys, let's get into Jesus. There's still so much more. Let's talk about Keith Lee. All right, here we go. So Keith Lee was kind of like the fan favorite, the top prediction of who people were expecting to see on AEW here tonight, more specifically in the Face of the Revolution ladder match, because it was made clear by Tony Khan. I forgot when he said it. I think it was that night that he revealed this, that the person would be coming in to the Face of the Revolution ladder match. The person in the Face of the Revolution ladder match would essentially be signing a contract with AEW and would be getting an opportunity again to possibly be included into the Face of the Revolution ladder match. So we knew that much about this. And for all of this, I think a lot of people knew that it was going to be Keith Lee. And then I think like maybe an hour or two before the show, Fightful Select did report that Keith Lee was they did report that Keith Lee was signed with AEW. So that was reported by Fightful Select. Whether or not he was going to be showing up here tonight, that I don't recall was reported, but it was reported that he had signed with AEW prior to this. So when I read that report, I pretty much knew, okay, Keith Lee is most likely going to be the surprise today. Like we already kind of figured ahead of time, but this was kind of like a confirmation of that, right? But you still don't know for sure. There's a lot of free agents out there. You just don't know what's going to happen. So the rumors were true, and it was definitely Keith Lee. And Jesus, like, it's so nuts to me, everybody. Like, this is nuts because, I've, been covering, all of these shows. I cover Raw and NXT and, AEW and all of this. And it's like, I kind of think back and I rewind a little bit and I'm like, 1 second, I'm literally talking about Keith Lee holding both championships, the NXT championship and the NXT North American championship. And I'm, so excited because, oh my God, he's going to face Karrion Kross. And, oh, this is so cool. And Keith Lee's killing it. And then all of a sudden, Keith Lee goes to the main roster. He's on Raw. It's not going so well. And, oh my God, this is not going good. Keith Lee's no longer on television. Oh, this happened. Oh, that happened. Okay, he's back, but now he's Bearcat Keith Lee. And, after this, his last match in WWE Monday Night Raw was October 25th. He defeated Cedric Alexander. And I'm thinking, all right, whatever. Then afterwards, fast forward to November 4th. November 4th, we get releases. Who's released? Keith Lee. And everybody's like, shit, this is not good. This is not great. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, given the fact that we had just seen him on Raw, he had just gotten this new change, but they had been changing so much about him and nothing was working on the Raw roster for Keith Lee, unfortunately. And I remember thinking at this point, like, man, like he was doing so well in NXT. Like, why did this have to happen? Obviously, at this point, we didn't know what NXT would become. We didn't know it was going to become NXT 2.0. So what I'm trying to say here is so much shit went down during this period. And then all of a sudden, he's gone. And hey, we get these rumblings and here he is. Ta-da! Keith Lee makes his AEW Dynamite debut. And when he came out, I'm like, you know what? Like, good for him, right? Like, let's see what his debut is going to be. So, he gets in this match with Isaiah Cassidy. And dude absolutely freaking kills it, man. Like, it's one thing to come out and get that pop of like, yeah, I'm here. But it's another thing to really show people that I could be this person. Like, I'm not just some, overrated guy. Nothing. Like, he actually showed people why there's a large amount of fans that have been supporting him and wanting to see him get these opportunities. So like for me, I loved this. I thought he came in with such amazing energy. He was so freaking happy. Like, you can tell he was having a blast. He came in, literally, bless his heart, Isaiah Cassidy took a big bump. He literally just like tossed Isaiah Cassidy like he was a rag doll. I managed to screenshot that, and it is so epic just to kind of see his body. And like Isaiah Cassidy is not a small guy, and like, small guy, and he still gets thrown in that manner. So that was freaking epic. Right after that, he hits a leapfrog, he hits a crossbody, and these are all, simple things that we've seen a million guys do a million times. But given the size of Keith Lee and the way that he moves so fast, it's so much more impressive to see him do that. So obviously, you mark for those little things. So again, you can tell that he's having the time of his life. Isaiah Cassidy hits a drop kick, and immediately after that, he gets a huge shoulder tackle from Keith Lee, and again, kind of throws him out. Isaiah Cassidy does a corkscrew over the top rope. That was fun. From here on in, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm glad they didn't do a quick squash and that they actually gave this match time. So I did like that. In the end, we do see Keith Lee pick up the victory, and we also see him powerbomb Mark Quinn after Mark Quinn like literally goes to the top rope, and freaking Keith Lee like catches him and just like bangs him onto the ring. So this was a win. I thought this was an impressive debut for Keith Lee, and I really hope that we get to see a lot out of him here. Like, there's a lot of guys that I think sometimes come into AEW, and we don't get to see that much of them. Like, they come and go, certain weeks. I don't want to see that happen with Keith Lee. I really hope that we do actually get to see him, be featured consistently. I know that that's something, maybe not so easy to do given how bloated that AEW roster is, but I do think that Keith Lee is bringing something a little bit different that, we're not necessarily seeing right now on the AEW roster. So guys, send in your thoughts. How did you feel about Keith Lee? Send in those super chats. I'm going to be pulling them up right now. So here we go. This one is from Diego Chacon via Mizar. Thank you so much to Diego, who says, imagine teaching Keith Lee to work as a big man. what he can do is amazing. Yeah, it's so much fun. Like, again, Elite Frog isn't, so out of this world, but he does it, and you're just like, damn, bro. Um, we got a super chat from Morris Mabalat, who says, "Rip Private Party." Seriously, but also, man, major kudos to them. They went in there. They knew the spotlight was not going to be on them, but you know what? They went out there. They did their job. They did their part, and you get rewarded for things like that. So, yeah. Good for them too to get this, moment. Morris, thank you so much for the super chat. I really thank you for this. We got another one from Cameron Mumford, another good friend of the show, who says, "No doubt I was marking out when Keith Lee came out. He was having a ball tonight and felt like what we have expected him to be. Boy, is WWE going to regret releasing him. Hashtag Limitless is resurrected." God, guys, I don't know. It's so hard to say, like, it's hard to say like, oh, so-and-so is going to regret, losing this person or releasing this person. It's just crazy to see like a lot of the guys that, have been released and the things that they have done, post WWE. Like, some people have made names for themselves. Some people, have, been proving people wrong. Other people you have not really heard from. So it is interesting to see, the routes that people go in. But I do think, again, if Keith Lee is featured on the show and, he's out there having banger matches with there's so much talent that Keith Lee can work with on AEW, that there's a limitless God, I can't even talk anymore. There's a lot of options for him. Thank you so much to Cameron Mumford. We got another super chat from the Pro Wrestling Podcast that says the match possibilities are limitless. Thank you so much. That's what I was trying to say. Just stumbled completely over my words. But thank you so much to the Pro Wrestling Podcast for also sending in a super chat. We got another one from Loopy Skills, who says, "Could we see Finn Balor in AEW in the coming weeks?" Dude, I don't know what's going on with Finn Balor in terms of I don't know what his contract status is or anything like that. I do not know. But I have been saying this nonstop in my Raw post show. So at this point, I feel like a broken record. But damn, it has not been good for Finn Balor there. It went downhill the second. He went from NXT back to the main roster. And, now in hindsight, it's like, okay, well, what was he going to do? Was he going to be stuck there in NXT 2.0? That's not such a great option either, right? For somebody like Finn Balor, he doesn't really fit what they need there. Okay, so, he's on the main roster. He's doing this program with Roman Reigns. They freaking have him falling off the ropes. The ropes get magically cut. I don't even know anymore. And then from there, he's literally, jobbing on Raw. It's just not going good for Finn Balor. And I really, really hate that. But thank you so much to Loopy Skills for sending in this super chat. We have another super chat from Killer Mike 375 who says, "I couldn't stop smiling watching Keith Lee. He looks so happy. Just glad he has a platform to show off how great he is. His future is limitless." This is it, man. This is his time to shine. This is his time to take the momentum he has and the opportunity he's been given by AEW to basically prove people wrong, ladies and gentlemen. When you get told no, when you are, when things are not liked about you, it'll light a fire underneath your butt and you will prove people wrong. And that is what Keith Lee is probably going to do. We got another super chat from Taylor Cannon who says, "It was so good seeing Keith Lee tonight. He looks so happy. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in AEW. WWE dropped the ball on him." Thank you so much to Taylor for also sending in the super chat. We got another one from Robert Hendricks who says, "Crazy to think that probably about 50 to 75% of AEW's original roster will probably not be renewed contractually with all of the big talent TK has added." Yeah, man. And I could only imagine, there's going to be certain people, just from an outsider's perspective, there are going to be certain people that are going to be seeing, the influx of new talent coming in, and they're probably going to feel like shit. There probably isn't anything for me here, But then there's going to be other talent that are probably going to, take that as a no, you know what? I'm going to, work harder and I'm going to show people why they should invest in me. I'm going to show, Tony Khan why they should invest in me and why I should be put on TV. So I do think that people are probably going to react, in different ways to this. The talent that does get released, it is going to be interesting to see, who those people are in time. We are going to be able to see those. In time, we'll probably be seeing more of those names once that information is revealed. But it is an interesting topic, though, because it's one of those things. It's like, okay, well, did this person fulfill their potential in AEW during the time that they were there, or did this person not get an opportunity? I feel like each person is kind of like a different case by case base. Like everything's different, like case by case. I don't think that everybody, some people may have been given opportunities and just didn't, do the job. And then there are other people that maybe just didn't get the opportunities and didn't get a chance to show what they can do. And maybe there's other people that did get opportunities and didn't really kill it. So it is going to be very interesting to see what names come and go, etc. But thank you so much to Robert Hendricks for also sending in this super chat. I thank you very, very much. We have another super chat from Justin Martin who says, welcome to All Elite to Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling. It's great to see Keith Lee in a company that knows he's a huge deal, just as himself. Awesome debut. Thank you so much, Justin. We got another super chat from Hagen who says, Adam Belumpier will be thrilled. Thank you so much to Hagen for also sending in that super chat. Once again, guys, get your thoughts, get your questions, get your comments, get your opinions. Whatever it is, send a super chat. We'll read them. F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of the proceeds. So I thank you guys in advance. Jeremy Jimenez sends in a super chat saying Keith Lee needs to be on Dynamite or Rampage every week. They can't be shuffling him off to Dark. Yeah, I don't want to see like Keith Lee on Dark every week or something like that. No. He needs to be kept special. He needs to, he can fluctuate, from Dynamite and Rampage. He doesn't have to be on both shows every week. Like he could do like Dynamite, Rampage, Dynamite, Rampage, Dynamite, whatever pattern they please. But definitely needs to be kept on those shows. Thank you so much to Jeremy Jimenez for sending in that super chat. All right, let me just catch up with everything here. Cool, I am officially caught up now. Let's go ahead and jump right into, we got a couple more things to talk about here. Quite a few actually, so let's continue on, everybody. All right, so let's see what's after this. All right, we did get a promo video. We are going to be getting a no DQ match between Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa. We kind of went in depth about that on Friday's Rampage show, so I won't talk about that right now. Let's get into CM Punk and his mystery partner versus FTR. So again, earlier I mentioned that I thought that this person that was going to be, debuting in AEW, aside from the Face of the Revolution thing, I thought they were going to come in as CM Punk's partner. It ended up being Jon Moxley. And I was like, hell yeah, like this is freaking cool. Like Jon Moxley was not a name that I was expecting to come in and tag with CM Punk here. Like it's crazy. Like really let that sink in, everybody. In 2022, and a company that is not WWE, we are seeing CM Punk and Jon Moxley teaming up together. Like what is that? That's crazy. Anyways, there were a couple of interesting things that were said here during commentary. So Jim Ross made a coexisting reference on commentary. It wasn't like a direct shot or anything like that, but obviously like everybody knows that coexisting and the term coexisting is now like a running joke. So Jim Ross did say like, can CM Punk and Jon Moxley coexist? Then on top of this, there was another thing where Jim Ross said that his refrigerator was being held hostage in Connecticut. When they announced that they're going to be making their Connecticut debut, I believe on the 20-something later on this month. So that was interesting too. But let's talk about the match itself. This was a banger, guys. This was so high energy. Really felt like, I don't know, it just felt good. This one felt good here. Let's see. There were some good moments during this. CM Punk going over the top, going over the top rope, and FTR catching him. Jon Moxley then doing a tope right onto all three men. That was pretty dope. After this, we basically get put in the picture-in-picture. During that, we do see Jon Moxley get put through the timekeeper's table. Cool. Afterwards, we see Wheeler hits CM Punk with the ring bell, and then Dax hits CM Punk with a brain buster, goes for the pin, and I legitimately thought that it was over here. It wasn't. It was a near. It wasn't a near fall. Well, well, actually, Jon Moxley went in there and essentially broke that up. So that was good there too. No, CM Punk kicked out. My bad. I'm confusing that with another part. So CM Punk kicks out. He doesn't get taken out by the ring bell. So good for him. We see FTR hit the big rig on CM Punk. They then go for the pin, but then Moxley breaks it up. And then we see all four guys exchange rights and lefts. Really cool visual to kind of see that. Then we see a visual tap here. So we see CM Punk essentially get cash in a Anaconda Vice, and he taps out, but the referee is distracted by what's going on with Jon Moxley, and so she misses the actual tap here. And then Tully gets involved, and then CM Punk gets Tully and hits him with the GTS. So that was pretty fun. For the win, we see both CM Punk and Jon Moxley hit both of their respective finishers on the members of FTR to get the win. So this was a fun match, especially like the last couple of minutes. Like the second we returned from the commercial break, it kind of amped up a little bit more. Really fun. I kind of want to see CM Punk and Jon Moxley team up again because this was good stuff all around. So this was really fun. Alrighty, guys, we got a couple more things to talk about, but we do got a super chat from Josh Almeida. Thank you so much to Josh, who says, spitballing and saying Elite versus Bullet Club at Double or Nothing. Hey, bro, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Thank you so much to Josh for sending in the super chat. Thank you very much. Alrighty, guys. AQA versus Jade Cargill, her 27th opponent. Jade Cargill has been on an unbelievable streak. This was okay. This was pretty good. I think in a recent interview, I forgot who the interview was with because Tony Khan has been doing so many interviews, but Tony Khan basically said that Jade Cargill is working now with Bryan Danielson, or rather Bryan Danielson is working with her like as a mentor. And I think that is such a good idea because, we've been talking about, Jade Cargill and she's been developing and all of that good stuff. But I think her working with Bryan Danielson is a very smart thing. So I'm glad that they're doing that. Anyway, so we have been seeing that improvement from Jade Cargill, and now I understand why. And right away, Jade, takes down AQA. We see Jade literally lift up AQA on her shoulder, like she literally weighs like 1 pound. Like she made her look like so tiny. So tiny. Jade hits her with an elbow strike, smashes her face in the ring a couple of times. We go to commercial break. We come back from commercial break. We see AQA hit shooting star press, and then it looks like she's going to go for another one, but she doesn't end up going for it. Jade hits her with the Jaded, and she gets the win. So this was a nice little match. It was fine. Like for the 27th challenger, I love seeing that shooting star press from AQA was really cool. Jade Cargill's improving each and every single week. So this was good stuff all around. I did think though that it should have I think it was a little bit long. And the only reason, like, it wasn't too long, like, don't get me wrong, but it felt a little bit, just a tad bit too long. And this may have been just me because I was so ready to go into the Texas death match. Like, I kept looking at the clock and I was like, don't screw me on time here. So that was kind of my train of thought where I was at with this. We got a super chat from Christopher Mack who says, Danielson, Punk, Mox, faction works for me, brother. Damn, man, that would just be... yeah, that would be pretty cool, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. Thank you so much to Christopher Mack for sending in a super chat. We got another super chat from Anthony Esquibel who says, what do you think of the AEW women's division and how would you change or fix it? # Salcedo rules. Well, for one, I would make sure, personally, like, I would utilize people like Serena Deeb, which they are, utilize more veteran women that I think can help some of the girls that are not necessarily at that level yet. I remember prior to Mickie James going to Impact Wrestling, I really thought that they were going to make a go for Mickie James and bring her in. That didn't end up happening, but I did think that was going to happen for a hot second. Put more emphasis on your AEW Women's World Champion, Britt Baker. You can't let us forget that she's champion. I think there's a lot of times where she kind of They don't really have her do much. I do think that you need to make sure to treat your AEW Women's World Champion just as much as you do your your AEW World Champion and the men's side. And also like more, I know everybody's always saying like more than one women's match, and I completely agree with that. More than one women's match. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but they are making that improvement, guys. Like AEW has turned around their AEW women's division by a lot. They were getting heavily critiqued for that for a very long time, but you can see that they have been making those changes. And right now, again, I'm talked more about this on Friday, but I'm loving what they're doing right now with Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez and Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. So like that kind of just started really taking off. So I can't wait to kind of see that go to the next level. So that's where I think I'm at right now with that. But thank you so much to Anthony for sending in that super chat and getting that question in. All right, guys, let's get into all right, what do we got after this? All right, we talked about AQA and Jade Cargill. We get a backstage promo, Young Bucks and Adam Cole. They're basically saying, the Young Bucks are saying that they're going to keep climbing up the rankings and they're trying to get back to the tag, they're trying to get back the tag team titles. Cool. Matt tells Adam that next time he has friends coming to make sure to give him a warning. Adam Cole says that they can trust him. They can trust him. Okay. And then Matt reminds him of the past between Jay White and Kenny Omega. All right. After this, we got the Serena Deeb, the Professor's 5-minute rookie challenge versus Katie Arquette, who answers the challenge. I could have done without this, to be honest. Like, I like the concept. That's all cool, but I could have done without this. Serena Deeb wins via submission. Not much else to say there. Let's get into the matches that are being announced for AEW Rampage and AEW Dynamite. Then we're going to go ahead and talk about the main event, and that'll be a wrap for today. Also, for those of you guys who are new to my show, I just want to let you guys know that I am live 3 times a week on here. Tuesdays, I'm here to talk about NXT 2.0. Believe it or not, we got a good little following that's coming in for that show every week. So yeah, if you want to be one of those people that wants to know what's going on with NXT 2.0, by all means, you're invited on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, I am here talking about AEW Dynamite, my most popular show of the week. So thank you very much. And then Fridays, I am here, geeking out about Smackdown and Rampage. It's always a good time. So now, AEW Rampage matches that have been announced for this Friday. We got Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero versus the Young Bucks. I'm expecting that to be a banger. We got Britt Baker versus Robin Renegade. So, Robin Renegade and her sister Charlotte are the Renegade twins, and I know them via Mission Pro. As you guys know, I do commentary for Mission Pro, which is Thunder Rosa's promotion. And they are the Mission Pro tag team champions, and they are so freaking awesome. They are 2 badass girls. They have been appearing on AEW Dark, and I believe this is the first time, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're seeing one of them on Rampage. I'm not too sure, but I'm very happy for Robin Renegade, who's getting this opportunity. Such a nice girl. Both of them, very nice, very talented girls. Like, keep an eye out on them. They're going to be something, guys. They're going to be something. They have such a, I see all the fans at the Mission Pro show, obviously, and they come up and they're always like geeking out over the Renegades. So it is really cool to kind of, see her name be announced here in this match against Britt Baker. So that is a huge matchup there. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus teaming up to take on Colton and Austin Gunn. That should be a fun little match. And everyone's favorite, Hook. Hook is going to be taking on Blake Lee, so that should be a good time too. And we're also going to be hearing from Bryan Danielson. Again, should be a good time. So they got Rampage is pretty loaded this Friday, everybody. For next week, AEW Dynamite, we got a no DQ match. Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez. Hell freaking yes. All right. I was literally on here saying, like, what the hell are they doing with Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez on Rampage? This should be on Dynamite. And this story is getting better. We saw Mercedes Martinez literally practically kill Thunder Rosa with the pipe. So Thunder Rosa is not going to take, it's not going to be easy on Mercedes Martinez. So I'm expecting a legit ass-kicking match here. So I'm very much looking forward to this no DQ match on Dynamite between Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez. That's going to be a lot of fun. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager teaming up to take on Santana and Ortiz. And again, we already mentioned how all of that went down earlier on this show. But now, everybody, let's do this. It is time to talk about this really awesome main event that we had, and I could not be happier to talk about it. So we had this main event, Texas Death Match, Lance Archer challenging Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. I don't know what to say. I literally have like 2 paragraphs of things that I wrote down that I liked in this match. So if you are new to my show, or if you're new to my Twitter page, or you're just new to me in general, then the number one thing that you should know is that I love blood and I love violence, and I'm all for this stuff, man. I know a lot of people don't like it. I'm not one of them. I'm a fan. The crazier things get, the hotter I am for it. So for me, I'm just gonna start off by saying this. Hangman Adam Page is kind of giving us this like title reign that I did not expect. He's been having some very bloody wars as champion. Obviously, everything that we saw with him and Bryan Danielson, and now with him and Lance Archer, this was bananas, everybody. Bananas. And I loved every minute of it. So let's kind of go through a couple of the things that went down that made this match like really awesome. Also, I'm just going to start off by saying also this. People have been very judgy about Hangman Adam Page's AEW championship run, okay? You know what? There was a week or two where I was, a little judgy too. Just a little bit. Just 1 week. 1 week where I was a little judgy. But I take it back. I take it back. Whatever I said that 1 week, I take it all back. I will not tolerate any slander for Hangman Page's AEW reign because damn, like I said, that feud with Bryan Danielson was the perfect way to kick it off and really make him feel like a big deal champion. His match with Kenny Omega stole the show at Full Gear. Great. And now we had this Texas Death Match, which was so incredible. Let's get into it. So this match literally got started right before the bell rang. Hangman Adam Page attacked Lance Archer backstage. Right away, brings him out to the stage area and puts him through the glass that's right by the entranceway, which I never even seen before, but it's there. And so he goes through the glass and Lance Archer is busted open. So right away, we get blood and it is good. We come back to the ring. Page hits a buckshot lariat, and Lance Archer is like completely busted open. He almost gets counted out, but he makes it right on time. And I like this because this kind of foreshadowed the ending to this match. But anyways, so Page goes for a dive and he's literally going for it. And then all of a sudden, especially the camera angle and the way that it was shot, you out of nowhere, you get Lance Archer who comes in with a trash bin and just smacks him on the freaking head. That was a really good moment there too. Dan Lambert comes in. He exposes the turnbuckle, and that's all I thought he was going to do because we get taken away from the ring area and we go into the crowd where we're seeing Hangman Page and Lance Archer go into the crowd. Hangman Page does a moonsault off the barricade and they end up making their way back. By the time that we're back, here I was thinking that Dan Lambert was just going to expose a little turnbuckle. No, he took off the entire top rope. So the ring is looking like all, funny looking. So they're back in the ring. We go to a commercial break. We come back from the commercial break. At this point, we're seeing that Hangman Adam Page is busted open. So is Lance Archer. We see Lance Archer take off the padding from the ground. Hangman hits Lance with a DDT. Hangman then goes crazy and starts hitting him with the kendo stick, but Lance Archer grabs that kendo stick, smashes it in half, and power bombs Hangman Adam Page onto a trash can bin. And if you thought the trash can bin spot was crazy, it gets crazier because after this, Lance Archer became my favorite person. That is right. Lance Archer is now my favorite person because he grabbed the freaking fork and he started stabbing Hangman Page in the freaking forehead, just stabbing him multiple times. And I'm thinking, oh, that's good. And then he looks in the camera and he freaking starts like sucking on the fork, or like he puts it in his mouth. He licks it. He does some creepy stuff. This was good. I loved that. That was a phenomenal visual. From there on, we see Lance Archer just freaking throw Hangman Page's body onto the steel steps. It was a brutal spot, huge bump there. We see Hangman. I don't know how Hangman bounced back from all of that stuff, by the way, but he wraps barbed wire around his fist. He throws a couple of punches over to Lance Archer. Lance Archer hits him with a boot. Hangman Page gets him with a suplex. Really good stuff back and forth. At one point, we see freaking Page go over the referee, go over the freaking ropes, freaking lariat onto Lance Archer, goes through the table. Then they're both on the verge of being counted out. Like I'm thinking this is going to end in a double count out. And then I think at 8 or 9 or some point, Hangman Page gets back into the ring, and we end up seeing him get the win here. So this was pretty crazy. This was a lot of fun. I love this, guys. I don't know what else to say. We kind of talked about everything that went down here. This was a really good main event. Post-match, there's more. Adam Cole comes out, picks up the AEW championship, and I'm thinking, is he going to hit Hangman Page, man? Like, after everything he went through, is he really going to do this to Hangman Page? Like, that's messed up, right? But no, instead he picks up the championship, puts it on his shoulder, kind of pats it to let him know, like, bruh, I'm coming for you. So Adam Cole, Adam Page, I'm going to get so confused with all the Adams, but it is going to be so much fun because that's bound to happen soon. Alrighty, everyone. That was the main event. That was AEW Dynamite. Feel free to send in any last and final thoughts as we make our way here. As we end the show, if you have any final super chats you want to send them in now because I will be wrapping up the show soon. So this is the last call, everybody. Last call for super chats. But before I do, just a friendly reminder, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to F4W Online, we are on our way to 100K. And also, I have an announcement coming soon. I don't know when I'm going to make the announcement, but I'll make it soon. I have an announcement coming. A couple announcements, but one will come sooner than the other. I'm very excited. I'm making a lot of changes to my career life. Yeah, there's a lot of changes. Working on a lot of things. So keep an eye out for that. On top of that, if you haven't gone over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo, go there. There's a lot of great stuff. Tomorrow morning, I am chatting with Mickie James, and I am going to ask her a lot of good stuff. So that interview is most likely going to be going up tomorrow. So keep an eye out. Again, that is youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. But if not, please make sure to spread the word about the show. Let people know if you enjoyed it, that you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Thank you so much to Sean, oh my gosh, I can't talk anymore. Sean Sirianni for sending in this super chat. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for sending this in. Sorry for messing up your name. All right, guys, there you go. That is it. We're done. We got through it all. Good show tonight, guys. I will see you back here next week again. Tuesdays, NXT. Wednesdays, Dynamite, Smackdown, Rampage on Friday. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much.